In recent years, there's been many old franchises that have been rebooted into films or trilogy of films just to give you some nostalgia and some memories, and that's about it. However, with the Karate Kid films and with Cobra Kai, it's shown that if done right, you can actually breathe new life into a franchise. Ever since its launch in 2018 on YouTube Red, it's grown a fan base over the years and now it's one of Netflix's biggest hits. But now the show is into its 5th season, so is it still going strong or is it now getting a bit tiring? Well, with this new season they kept that formula which worked so well for them from season 1 to season 4, and it still works here as well, but it did take a little bit longer than maybe the past seasons to really find its flow. But once you get wrapped up again in the drama of it all, it really is a joy to watch, and it works perfectly in that binge show format. Especially with episodes ranging from 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And what I love about this show is that it's built on that foundation it created during the 80s, it has that then 90s teen drama kind of thing, and it all sort of comes to a head in the present day. So going back to that point on nostalgia, with this show it really does blend it so well into the plot as well, because a lot of the characters themselves are actually getting nostalgic, like they want to live like it was back in the 80s, or they get nostalgic about Miyagi, like Daniel LaRusso many times. And unlike some of the recent movie reboots, they don't just throw characters in here for a cameo or for like one scene or two scenes. The characters here are getting a lot of time and they're getting a lot more layers put on them. So when we do go back to the trilogy of Karate Kid films, you'll see some of these characters in a lot of different light than you would without watching Cobra Kai. And that's what really helped kickstart the show in the first place, to have Johnny Lawrence as the main character after him being the rival of Daniel LaRusso in the Karate Kid films. To see the other side was an interesting premise of the show. And to see that long-term effect from that defeat from LaRusso and how that's actually formed him into the man he is now. But from season 1 to season 5, Johnny has certainly changed a lot as a character, but one thing still stands true, and that is he's probably one of the funniest characters in the show. And we have some great scenes this season, with a couple sticking out being when he tried White Claw for the first time, and also when he had to drive some members of the public around, and I think when he's with the public, that's always a recipe for some good fun. But for me, the MVP of the season has to be Chozen. Having Chozen as a series regular this time around was a brilliant decision, because he's injected something a little bit different into the show, and I really enjoyed that episode with the eggs as well. Like, I thought that was just a great opportunity for him to really get into the spotlight. On to Terry Silver now, and I thought he worked really well as an intimidating villain and a great matchup for Daniel and co. And with John Kreese being out of the picture, he had to provide those schemes to really test the group, and he certainly did. And just on John Kreese, he may have had a smaller role this time around, but he still had a decent enough impact, and I tell you what, he went full Joker in that final scene. In terms of the new generation, they continue to blossom, and I think Tori was definitely a standout. With the teen drama and some other aspects of the show, it can get quite cheesy, but with this show, with Cobra Kai, you just have to embrace that cheese, because Cobra Kai is really good at building those connections and those rivalries between characters, and a lot of time we don't even need to see any talking. A lot of time the action does the talking for it. And it always seems to deliver a great action spectacle for the finale. It's done so once again here, and it was really entertaining to watch. Overall, there are a handful of convenient moments and moments which make you think, would someone actually do that? But where the show exceeds in other areas, it's earned that right for the viewer just to look past that. Cobra Kai Season 5 has provided exactly what I wanted it to do. It's built on already established characters, it's introduced new ones as well as brought back some old ones. It's provided that action, that great enjoyable action. It's also got a bit of heart, it's got a bit of humour, it's got a bit of everything really, and it's just a really fun and easy to watch binge. Going forward, it'd be interesting to see how they keep the show feeling fresh. With the characters, they can only go from one side to the other so many times without it feeling like they're doing the cha-cha slide. But after 5 successful seasons, I've got no reason not to trust they can do that. And whenever they do drop season 6, I'll be right there ready for it, because this show is a bit like anime in that way, where it's just so easily digestible that you can just sit there and just get immersed into the world. Anyway, if you've checked in with Penis Breath and Co, let me know your thoughts down below. And if you want something else to watch, on screen right now is our review for episode 3 of The Rings of Power.